Paris stood here in Bobby the Beast's house with this glow on her face as she reminisced about Niles Monroe. And after she hugged him in her imagination, she realized, oh, that's Bobby. He told her that he has to leave to go and train, but she used her feminine wiles to persuade him to stay. Then suddenly, bam, the blue roses. As soon as Paris started to get a little bit comfortable, here he come. And she thinks that she's hiding out, quote unquote, at Bobby's house, but Niles knows all and he sees all, clearly. She told him that she didn't want the flowers, and I'm like, girl, just because you don't want them does not excuse the fact that Niles is on that ass. And this was enough for Bobby the Beast to go over the edge. He yelled at her and asked her who sent the flowers. And I'm so glad that she responded the way that she did. She was like, Trigger, we ain't dating. I ain't your woman. I let you hit it and that's it. And that's all, she didn't say all that, but that sums it up to what she said. After she told him that she had a stalker, he was like, okay, we can handle that. I'm used to having stalkers. So I'll call some of my boys down from the city for a little extra protection, and I got you. But she declined the offer. She pulled out her piece from her purse, and she told him that she got it. And she decided to read the note that was attached to the roses, and it was scribed, "Miss me yet?" Boy, I tell you, if Paris don't tell Elsie what the hell is going on, oh my God, she doesn't realize that she's creating bigger problems by not telling him. Curtis may be the one who has to say something. This episode also highlighted Brandon's funeral, and Roman showed up, of course, but he wasn't welcomed, right? Brandon's mother was really upset, and she said that Roman shouldn't be there at all because he's the reason that Brandon was no longer amongst the living. Roman tried to explain that he was Brandon's best friend and that him getting shot wasn't his fault, but no one wanted to hear all that, so he turned around and left. In our next scene, we have Dominique here, peer pressuring an anxious Donna to get her bones. And this was very hard to watch, and I like Dominique, but she's slowly making her way to my bad side a little bit because she's heartless. And yeah, this is good for the character, and she does a phenomenal job, but I didn't like the scene at all just because of the storyline as a whole. And Brother Minister's loyalty was still at Elsie's table, clearly, and this is where he should have been, at the table with Elsie, instead of playing this toy gangsta game with the Play Alliance that Junior called himself running. I'm gonna get through this scene. I'm gonna get through it. And Brother Minister warned Donna that Allah is not going to be pleased with her actions, but she told him that he was a traitor and she shot him right there where he stood. Then Dominique's trifling ass told her to shoot him again to make sure that he was dead. Dominique told Antonio everything that happened, and Junior is clearly uncomfortable with what just went down, right? He can't believe that Antonio has done this. And again, if you're heading the alliance, you could have stopped this at any time, sir. Let's just go to the next scene. I can't with Junior. LoJack had to escort Roman outside to be sure that he didn't come back in again. And Roman tried to explain that it wasn't his fault, but LoJack had to bring it on home, land the plane, because Roman just didn't get it. He doesn't realize that if Brandon wasn't helping him with this heist, then he'd still be alive. He may not have been driving the boat, but he arranged the trip, right? But he doesn't get it. Sonia made her way into Hellfire Club, where Junior all booed up with trick number 17, who just happened to post a picture of her and Junior on Instagram, and then she tagged him in it. Bad move. So Sonia came in hot, going off, and I really wish that Junior wouldn't have pulled Sonia back, right? We didn't have to worry about the baby. Look at Sonia and look at her. Look at Sonia and look at her. All Sonya got to do is blow a little bit, and Shawty Doo-Wop would have been twirling around her fingers like a piece of spearmint chewing gum. She's a lightweight. But they got her to agree to go outside and talk to Junior instead of disturbing the peace with the other paying Johns who were there to have a good time with the s'mores. Even Senior Cruz and Juan tried to get Junior to leave and go home with his wife, but he wasn't receiving that too well. And I really appreciate this because they're like Junior's uncles, so to speak, right? You know, they step in for LC when he can't be there to talk sense into him, but he didn't listen to them either. Now Shawty Doo-Wop over here is suffering the consequences of her clout chasing. Consuela had to let her go, gave her her walking papers. And side note, why Consuela look like she finna name the nominees for the Golden Globe Awards? It's a beautiful dress, though. It really is. But y'all know I had to say something. She asked Ramon to walk Shawty out. And I'm glad to see Ramon. He's still hanging in there. Go ahead, Ramon. That's one thing Consuela's gonna do. She's gonna look out for her brother. But Sonia took her and all of her smoke outside the club and told Junior that she was done with him. She said that she was tired of him being disrespectful to her and their marriage, and this dummy asked her to give him some space. Space? Space to do what, Junior? Space to cheat on her again? Space to ruin your marriage? Space to catch an incurable disease? Is that what you need space for? She told him that she was done calling and texting him, and she was done. And I would have been 100% satisfied with this scene if she would have told him that she's carrying his child. Why are you still holding on to this, Sonia? Nevada found out that Sonia had just left the club, so we had to go and remind Uncle Junior how stupid he's been acting lately, and also remind him that they have similar situations. And with him being much younger than Junior, he was able to brush it off, forgive and forget, and keep it pushing. So why can't Junior follow suit? The Duncan family withheld the fact that Consuela, his mother, was still alive until she busted up in their house and held guns to everyone's head. That's when he found out. So he forgave the family for not telling him, but Junior is choosing to be a victim. Here is Chippy will concur with this state of affairs a little bit later. And then when S'more number 12 came and tried to comfort Junior, he told her to get lost. Now this is the smartest thing that he's done in weeks. Meanwhile, he's turning down smashing cheeks in the sheets. Sonia is making an appointment to terminate her pregnancy, and her phone conversation is overheard by London, who tried to talk her out of it, but Sonia wants London to keep quiet and mind her own business. Now, Rio's showing up at the funeral like he's a friend of the family. Like, Rio, you're supposed to be on the low, but he's dressed to the nines with the matching overcoat and the pink hair. Like, could you stand out anymore, Rio? But his attempt to get into the funeral was short-lived. He was turned around by LoJack, and LoJack is the one that gave him Roman's full name. So he called Nevada and gave him the info to have him send the details on his last known address. And Aunt Coretta showed up at the hospital and told Margaret that Rio showed up at the funeral, and Margaret wanted to know if Rio was healthy. With her being a nurse, I guess that's pretty normal. Of course, she told him how he looked, and she had to mention the hair. I mean, you can't really describe Rio without mentioning his hair color of the week. Mariah went up to remind LC to go down for breakfast, but before he had his morning coffee, he took a call from Christopher. And whatever and whoever he's trying to do business with, it's going to cost him a pretty penny. But I'm sure whatever the cost is, it's mere chump change to LC. And if we need another sign that LC's mind is all over the place, then this should be it. He was saying the prayer over breakfast, blessing the food, and he said, bless the animal that took the bullet to the head in order for them to eat. What? What is LC saying right now? Like, who says that at breakfast? What's understood don't need to be expressed. And Nevada feels the same way. He looked at LC like, I mean, look at his face. Like, what did you just say? Let's just move on. He wanted to know where everybody was, and they told him that Paris had her legs open somewhere. They didn't say that, y'all. I'm just playing. They said that she had her overnight bag when she left, so you can come up with your own conclusion. That's just the one that I came up with. Rio made his way to Roman's place, and of course, he's not there, but the nosy neighbor made sure that Rio, this stranger who happens to be looking for someone in their building, reminded me of Miss Jody from the Oval. All in folks' business, spilling all the tea. He don't even know Rio like that. Rio could have been anybody, and in this case, Rio is anybody because he's really looking to get at Roman, right? In this very moment. But the nosy neighbor told him exactly where Roman may be. He told him all about Miss Margaret being in the hospital. He even wanted Rio to deliver a message. He told him to tell Margaret that he was praying for her. Now, what good is that going to do when he ready to kill somebody? Rio made it to the hospital, and he woke up Miss Margaret out of her sleep. And she acknowledged the fact that Roman does look like Rio. And she told him just enough about who Roman was, enough for him to call Chippy to question her about it, because Rio thinks he's adopted. But Chippy didn't have time to talk. She has to go somewhere. She's headed out. She told him she'd talk to him whenever she got back. Then we pull up on Curtis and Mariah. I did a first First Impressions video this morning and broke down this scene. And if you haven't watched it yet, it's pinned down in the comments and up above. But she found the snake in the grass, Harris, at some hotel hiding out. And the way the conversation flowed initially, it sounded as if she found him, right? But then he said that somebody in the house told him that she's having a hard time. So he reached out to her. So I'm not exactly sure how they found each other, but bottom line is he's not dead. He's alive and well, but definitely on the run. He's in hiding because everybody and their mama want him dead, period. He told her not to let anyone know that she saw him. Then we finally have the scene that we've been waiting for, but I was half satisfied with this scene as well because Chippy kind of brushed over the details of what happened with her, Donna, and LC, only because now they have a bigger fish to fry. He told Junior while he's at Hellfire Club swimming in uncharted territories that his wife is at home possibly pregnant. And why didn't she just say that Sonia was pregnant, right? Because she's already talked to Sonia. She saw the ultrasound. So why is it she may be pregnant? I don't know. Maybe they filmed this scene before the other one. But it's like I said, she brushed over, glossed over her and LC's sin and told him about the baby and that they still loved him very much. Very generic. Could have been better. The final episode in season 4 was epic. Like, that scene alone deserves a better response. In my humble opinion. And this is actually where season 5 should have picked up. But who am I to tell them where to pick up? Rio arrived to talk to Paris about his paternity, and Rio actually believes that he was adopted because he looks different. Hell, they all look different to me, but Paris said that he looks different because of his hair. And as soon as he talked to her about him having a brother, the episode abruptly ended. Just like that, it just kind of went off. And that's all I have for this episode, guys. And other than the half-baked scenes with Junior and Chippy and then Junior and Sonia, everything else was gravy. I liked it. And I thought the most touching scene was with Nevada and Junior in the hallway at Hellfire Club because it bonded these two characters for life. And even though there's an obvious age difference, Nevada appeared to be the bigger person, more mature in this instance because of his mature reaction to the devastating news that was both life-changing for him and Junior. Another solid episode from Carl Weber's A Family Business. If you're a fan of the show, become a fan of the channel if you haven't done so already. And I'd like to give one more warm welcome and a thank you to over 1,000 new subscribers to the channel. Thank you for subbing, guys, for what is now daily commentary on your favorite drama series. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. You know I'd appreciate it. Don't forget to turn on your bell notification so that you'll be alerted when the daily videos are available. Thank you once again for joining me on Ruthless TV today, you guys, and I'm gonna see you on the next one.